Welcome back, you guys. Today we will discuss some anatomy topic. These are the topic which you should know for various exam point of view, like any competitive entrance exam or for your prof exam also. These are important. These are the favorite question of your examiner. Okay, we will not discuss here the whole topic. Whole anatomy cannot be discussed here, but we will discuss the important topics which you should remember. So now come to the topic. First of all, today's topic is the structure passing through various foramina of skull. This comes under osteology of the skull. First of all, we will discuss the foramen ovale. Foramen ovale. This is not the foramen ovale which is present in heart. This is the foramen ovale present in skull. What is so the structure passing through the foramen ovale are the mandibular nerve, accessory meningeal artery, lesser petrosal nerve, and emissary vein. This emissary vein connects cavernous sinus to the pterygoid venous plexus. Here we can remember this whole thing, the structure passing through foramen ovale, by a mnemonic, that is the male. We can remember this as male passing through this foramen ovale. From M, mandibular nerve, A accessory meningeal artery, L lesser petrosal nerve, E emissary vein. Now come to the foramen spinosum. Foramen spinosum, these things, the structure passing through foramen spinosum can be remembered as main. What is this main? Main meaning, main by N, by M for middle meningeal artery and vein, E emissary vein, and N is the nervus spinosus. This nervus spinosus is nothing but the meningeal branch of the mandibular nerve. And now come to the third foramen, that is the foramen lacerum. Which structures are passing through this foramen lacerum? The meningeal branch of the ascending pharyngeal artery and emissary vein passing through its whole length. And this internal carotid artery with sympathetic plexus and venous plexus around it transverses through foramen lacerum, but not passes through it. Here this is the point to be remembered. This internal carotid artery and sympathetic plexus and venous plexus around it traverses through it, but not passes through it. And here one important nerve formation will be there, that here greater petrosal nerve unites with deep petrosal nerve to form the nerve of pterygoid canal. This nerve of pterygoid canal is also known as, this nerve of pterygoid canal is further named as Vidian nerve. This is the Vidian nerve. Now come to other foramen, that is the carotid canal. This carotid canal which structures will pass through this carotid canal? Internal carotid artery with sympathetic plexus around it. Internal carotid artery and sympathetic plexus around it will pass through this carotid canal, and emissary vein. Emissary vein, here this emissary vein will connect cavernous sinus with internal jugular vein. Now come to the foramen rotundum. Once you hear the word foramen rotundum, automatically what should come in your mind? That it will pass maxillary nerve, pterygoid canal. Next one is the pterygoid canal. From the pterygoid canal, which things will be passed? Nerve of the pterygoid canal and artery of the pterygoid canal. Nerve of the pterygoid canal is the Vidian nerve, and artery of the pterygoid canal is the Vidian artery. This Vidian nerve we have seen in our previous slide, that this Vidian nerve is found by the when greater superficial petrosal nerve unites with deep petrosal nerve, the formation of Vidian nerve will be there. It is formed in the pterygoid canal, we have seen earlier. Now come to the stylomastoid foramen. Which things will be passed through this stylomastoid foramen? The facial nerve. Once you heard the name of this foramen, stylomastoid foramen, automatically which things should come in your mind? That it will pass facial nerve and stylomastoid branch of the posterior auricular artery. These are the things which you should always remember. This facial nerve here, this maxillary nerve here, and this internal carotid artery here. Okay. Now come to the jugular foramen. Which things will be passed through this jugular foramen? First of all, it is divided into three parts. This jugular foramen is divided into three parts. That is the anterior part, anterior, middle and posterior part. Anterior part, which things will be passed through this anterior part? Inferior petrosal sinus, and middle part will contain the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve, and posterior part it connects sigmoid sinus, continues with internal jugular vein here. Now come to the internal acoustic meatus. Next foramen is the internal acoustic meatus. Which things will be passed through this internal acoustic meatus? First of all, you should always remember this facial nerve. These things will be used in your whole MBBS curriculum. Later on, when you will study ENT, all these things will be repeated. That during the time of various surgery, it should be taken care to not damage these things. Okay. So internal acoustic meatus, the content passing through it are the facial nerve, and second one is the nervus intermedius of Riesberg. This is nothing but the sensory part of the facial nerve. And now the most important third cranial nerve passing through it is the vestibulocochlear nerve. That is the 8th cranial nerve. Now here important point you have to know in internal acoustic meatus or internal auditory meatus. This is divided into this internal acoustic meatus, anatomically divided into first of all two part, that to the superior part and inferior part, that is by this transverse crest, that is known as falciform crest. This transverse crest is known as falciform crest into superior and inferior part. Now again this superior part is divided into two part, that is the anterior and posterior part. By a vertical crest, that is known as Bill's bar. that is known as Bill's bar, and this is your favorite question of any examiner. Now come to the next foramen. That is the incisive foramen. Incisive foramen will pass this greater palatine vessels and nasopalatine nerve. Greater palatine vessels and nasopalatine nerve. Next foramen is the tympanic canaliculus. Tympanic canaliculus will pass the tympanic branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve. Tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve, that is also known as Jacobson's nerve. Jacobson's nerve. Sometimes questions are asked the other name of this nerve. Only that is the question. That means there will be the question like Jacobson nerve, characteristic of Jacobson nerve. In option, this tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve will be there. The questions are like this. Only name of that thing will solve your problem. So these things you should know. Now come to the foramen magnum. Another foramen is the foramen magnum. Foramen magnum is the largest foramen of the skull. Largest foramen of the skull. It is divided into the following part: anterior, posterior, and subarachnoid space part. Anterior part will contain the apical ligament of Dens and membrana tectoria. Apical ligament of Dens and membrana tectoria. This posterior part will pass in posterior part, which things will be passed? The lowest part of the medulla oblongata. Lowest part of the medulla oblongata with those three meninges, that is the dura, arachnoid and pia mater. And the third part is the subarachnoid space. Things passing through this subarachnoid space is spinal accessory nerve, that is the 11th cranial nerve, and vertebral artery and sympathetic plexus around it. Here the most important part, here you have to remember, you should never forget that this part will pass the vertebral artery. In fact, in your exam the question will be vertebral artery will pass through. There you have not to remember this subarachnoid space there also. Only option there will be the foramen magnum. These simple things are asked in exam. The tough things are not asked in exam. Only those things are asked in exam. Those simple things are asked in exam which you should know. Okay. Now come to the mastoid canaliculus. Mastoid canaliculus will pass the auricular branch of the vagus nerve. Auricular branch of the vagus nerve. Here also same thing, same importance. That means you should know its other name, that it is also named as Arnold's nerve or Elderman's nerve. Now come to the next foramen, that is the foramen vessalius. This foramen is also known as emissary sphenoidal foramen. Emissary sphenoidal foramen. This will pass, this foramen vessalius will pass this emissary vein connecting cavernous sinus with pterygoid venous plexus. Now come to the next foramen, that is the optic canal or optic foramen. As the name suggests, optic foramen will pass the optic nerve and ophthalmic artery with sympathetic plexus around it. Now come to our next foramen, that is the superior orbital fissure and inferior orbital fissure. These things will not leave you until your MBBS is over, or if you will be surgeon later on, surgeon of maxillofacial surgery, then this also then these things will also not will leave you. So the superior orbital fissure is divided into three parts by the common tendinous ring of gene. Common tendinous ring of gene. Sometimes only this is asked in question. By which things this superior orbital fissure is divided into three parts? You have to answer the common tendinous ring of gene word. You should look for the gene word. So it is divided into three parts by the common tendinous ring of gene. First one is the middle part, which is within the ring. It will contain, this middle part will contain upper and lower division of oculomotor nerve, nasociliary nerve and abducent nerve. Okay. Now come to the lateral part. Which is above the ring. That will contain the trochlear nerve, frontal nerve and lacrimal nerve and superior ophthalmic vein, and this medial part which is below the ring will contain this inferior ophthalmic vein. These things are difficult to remember, but you have to remember, because these things will not leave you. These things you will study on your ophthalmology subject also. Now come to the inferior orbital fissure. Which things will pass through this inferior orbital fissure? You have to remember all these things. There is no excuse. By whatever means, you have to remember these things by today or tomorrow. So the inferior orbital fissure will pass the zygomatic branch of maxillary nerve, infraorbital nerve and vessels, and communicating vein between the inferior ophthalmic vein and pterygoid plexus of veins. Now come to the another foramen, that is the mastoid foramen. This mastoid foramen will pass the meningeal branch of occipital artery, and emissary vein, and the next foramen is the supraorbital foramen. Supraorbital foramen will pass the supraorbital nerve and artery, and infraorbital foramen, which things will be passed? The infraorbital nerve and vessels. Here we have only discussed the important foramen. There are many other foramens, not many, but we have discussed the important foramen, which you should remember always. At least the foramen I have written here, that is the foramen ovale, foramen spinosum, foramen lacerum and foramen vessalius. What is nerve of Rysberg? You should always remember these things. How this Vidian nerve will be formed? These things. What is Beals bar? These things are asked in exam in various form. In your prof exam may also come, or in your competitive exam. These things will be asked. Now come to the some important facts about the osteology of the skull. This skull is the cranial end of the axial skeleton. This one is the cranial end of axial skeleton. This skull is comprises of 22 bones. How these are 22 bones? The 8 bones are the bones of the cranium or the calvaria, that is the brain case. In the brain case, and the facial skeleton consists of the 14 bones. So, which bones are included in these bones of cranium? The 8 bones. The name of 8 bones are there is paired two bones of cranium are paired, that is the parietal bone and temporal bone. Parietal and everyone is knowing this. Parietal and temporal bone are paired. Unpaired bone, frontal bone, occipital bone, sphenoid bone and ethmoid bone. And bones of the face, first of all you have to remember here the unpaired bone. Obviously mandible is unpaired bone, and vomer you have to remember that which bone is unpaired bone of face, that is the vomer bone. And here you have to remember these things also, that mandible is the only mobile bone of the skull. This is only mobile bone of skull, only mobile bone of the skull. And which are the paired bone? That is obviously these are the zygomatic, maxillary, nasal, lacrimal, palatine bones and inferior concha. These are the paired bone. That means these are both side. Paired means both side. So now come to how the skull is made up of this 22 bones. These are the paired bones. So 4, here the 4 unpaired bone and 6 paired bone, 12 and 2 unpaired bone. So add up this 4, 8, 4, 4, 8, 8, 12, 20 and then 22. So the skull is made up of 22 bones, but some author taking or some people taking ear ossicles also as a bone. In that case, the 3 ear ossicles, malleus, incus and stapes, that means plus 6, 22 plus 6. In that case, skull is made up of 28 bones. So if in exam or if any examiner will ask the question, if in option both 20 and 22 will be there, then the best answer will be obviously 28. That means he has taken the ear ossicles as bone. Now come to this important point, that greater wing of sphenoid, which foramens are present there? Foramen ovale, rotundum, spinosum and vessalius. And now come to the important point here. Here we are only discussing important point, that optic canal or foramen is enclosed by lesser wing of sphenoid and body of sphenoid. Just look at the here. This greater wing of sphenoid presents following foramina. This foramen ovale, rotundum, spinosum and vessalius. Foramen of vessalius. And this optic foramen is enclosed by the lesser wing of sphenoid and body of sphenoid. Now come to the another anatomical structure, that is the Sternberg canal. This Sternberg canal is nothing but the persistent lateral craniopharyngeal canal. This is the persistent lateral craniopharyngeal canal. This lies anteromedial to foramen rotundum. And which things the importance of this Sternberg canal? That is the congenital intrasphenoid meningocele and encephalocele may arise through this canal. Now come to the another canal. These names are fascinating. As these names are fascinating, these are also question for your examiners, that Dorello canal. This Dorello canal will pass the abducent nerve. Here also fallopian canal, one also there is fallopian canal. Is this name fascinating? This fallopian tube. So here fallopian canal, but through this fallopian canal, this has nothing to do with uterus. Here, which things will pass? Facial nerve will pass. And anterior. Now come to the another important point of this skull about the anterior fontanelle. This anterior fontanelle is closed by 18 months of age, that is 1.5 years of age. This is closed by 1.5 years of age, and posterior fontanelle, that is also known as lambda, this is closed by 2 to 6 months of age. Now come to the important some important points about the skull. Our skull is divided is composed of the outer and inner table of compact bones. Outer table of compact bones, outer table and inner table. This outer table also made up of compact bones, and this inner table is also made up of compact bones, and in between the two compact bones there is vascular space. This space is made up of cancellous bone. This space is made up of cancellous bone and vascular space, vascular tissues. These are known as, this is known as diploi. And the veins draining this diploi are known as diploic veins. These veins have special characteristics. These diploic veins are valveless. Here important points we have to remember. We have to know that this cranial vault is unilamellar at birth. This is unilamellar at birth, that is without any diploi or diploic veins. That's why the newborn skull is highly compressible. You all may have heard this. That is due to this unilamellar. This cranial vault is unilamellar at birth without any diploi and diploic veins, and also there is obviously there is not two part of compact bone, and this diploic vein starts appearing at the 2 years of age, and both the compact bone, that means outer and inner table with cancellous bone starts appearing at the 4th year of age, and this outer and inner table and the diploi and diploic veins, diploic vein itself start appearing at the 2 years of age, but the whole diploi, that means the cancellous bone, gets differentiated completely up to by the 35 years of age. So these things are the most important things in this skull, which I have discussed in very short way, so that you may revise fast. So very thank you to all of you. You may join my Telegram channel, that is named as Dr. Manoj Lectures. Dr. Manoj Lectures is my Telegram channel name. There I will post the questions after any topic, and there also many other update will be there. You may visit the link provided in my videos.